we've exhausted ourselves over film. There's a lot of really positive things when you can play with the amount of young kids that we're playing with and have a lead going into the third both nights. It's really promising. The disappointing, obviously, the results are really disappointing. Especially Saturday. Fridays, I think it's going to happen. Like, it just got away from us and they turned it on. Saturday, we really, gift wrapped them a win. We felt like we were the better team. 5-on-5, we watched it again. We were the better team 5-on-5, and they're one hell of a team. So we're going to focus on the positives moving forward after today, and get ready for a really good Notre Dame team this weekend.
When you watch film, how much do you balance wanting to fix everything versus something's going to take care of itself the more you get full-hour practices and the more you guys play?
Well, that's just it. I mean, you can't fix everything overnight, and when you have that, and I hate to use it as an excuse, but when you have that many new players and you haven't had full hours yet, you're going to make mistakes. And that's what we told them going into the week. Like, hey, you make mistakes, like, we're going to play you through them, and it's okay. But they have to be hard mistakes. And where I went wrong, and I take full accountability for both losses, is not really hammering home how we need to manage games with a lead and manage games, going into third periods and because we did a really poor job of it, right? We gave 2 games away, especially one, so it's really good film and experiences to draw on for a team full of so many new players. But at the end of the day, that they've cut their teeth. We've done it against what we think is going to be a top 5 team all year. We're weathered because of it. That's a good thing, and we're excited about what we know we can and will become.
What are the adjustments for game management in the third period that you guys are looking to make?
Just managing pucks, and understanding little things, like even if you're a power play, and you're up 2 with under 15 minutes left. The one thing you can't do is turn a puck over and give them a rush. You're almost happy. You want to have a killer instinct and go up 3 and take your chances, but you can't give up a rush. You can't do it. And we made a simple mistake of dumping a puck on an entry, which we don't do and have never practiced, and then turned the puck over on the wall, and then there was a bad gap, and in my opinion, a bad goal. It was 4 things that happened in one play. And it just gave them that life that they didn't have. Like, it was a different feeling than Saturday. We had to come back and expend a lot of energy to get back up 3-2. Where Saturday, we really executed what we wanted. We got to the net more. We put pucks in behind them. We grinded them out. We were forechecking. It was almost death by a million paper cuts type of approach. It was what we wanted, and we felt like we had them bleeding out. And then we get a power play to go up 3 or just eat 2 minutes, and we didn't do it, right? So just managing the game, managing situations, understanding how important it is in those situations to not have to press and give up a rush, and then you start to spiral a little bit. A veteran team, kind of became sharks in the water, and then it happened.
Maybe just speak from the younger players in the last couple of days about how they've reacted to this and how they carry themselves.
The younger players, and I said this after the game, and I love our veteran guys, and I know they're going to get the job done for us. But it was the younger players weren't the ones that made the mistakes. It was our older guys, which is really frustrating. But again, I know they'll bounce back, and we tried to. If there's one thing I could go back and probably do differently, it was gotten the second unit out there a little bit more in the game. But I wanted the top guys to know I believed in them, and for them to get a big goal in the moment to get us a win, and never look back. It didn't work out that way. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But at the end of the day, there's one person accountable for third period, leads that you give up and end up not getting wins, and it's me. It's on me, 100%.
Power play this weekend, 1 for 12. What kinds of adjustments are you looking to make before the tournament?
Just simplify, right? It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. We've shown a lot of film of what that unit last year did so well. That was a top unit in the country, and really what they did well was they listened. They did what we told them to do, and it was very simple. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just getting pucks to the blue paint and creating a little bit of chaos. They did such a good job of it that these guys, instead of trying to make the absolute perfect play, you just got to get pucks to the blue paint and outnumber them. So that's what we did so well last year. And look, like their goalie was dynamite. Like he was dynamite. That kid, I think he's going to play in the NHL. He's huge. He's structurally sound. And to his credit, our guys clutched it a little hard and didn't just let it rip because he was so imposing, and they didn't feel like they had much to shoot at. So he's gonna be a handful for the Big Ten all year. He's a really good goalie.
What do you think of Hasley?
Haz was great. I thought he put 5 tremendous periods together. We had the conversation. I didn't love his third. I thought the first 2 that they got, if he's at his sharpest, he makes those saves in his sleep. McKenna's goal, I don't know if anybody's going to stop that, but the first 2, I think he wants back, and I think moving forward, he definitely is a guy that can close those games out for us, and so is Herbs. You're going to see Herbs this weekend as well.
You mentioned some of those younger players. Who are some that stood out to you this weekend?
Well, I thought our best line all weekend was Morel, Nash, and Alfano, and they were just tremendous. They bought into what we want them to do, how they want to play, north-south, forecheck mentality, getting pucks to the net, driving to the net off the puck. Did so many things. Obviously the second period they had was amazing on Friday, and if you go back and you watch the last 5 minutes of Saturday, they generated 4 really good scoring chances. We just didn't get the puck past them. So they're winners. They play hard. They want to win. They want to do everything the right way. They're going to continue to get more and more. Carmelo Crandall was outstanding. He was probably our best player on Friday. He was really good again on Saturday. I thought Justin Cloutier was fantastic Saturday night, and he is a kid that was in the stands on Friday. And then on the back end, I thought they're like the young D and Richie Barron was unbelievable, eating all those minutes that he ate and playing so well with Shelley. I think Lincoln Keene had a lot of good moments too. Zem had a little bit more time Saturday, and he's going to find his legs and get his reps. And then Kipper was a stud. He is what we knew he was, and he's just going to continue to get more and more. I loved how our young guys played on a big stage under the bright lights. They're only going to get better. And when it all connects, and I think it'll connect sooner than later, I stand by what I said. This team, there's nothing it cannot accomplish.
The Morale and Nash line looked like you guys matched up with the Serato line, at least on Saturday night. Is that going to be kind of a shutdown line for you guys going forward?
I think they're capable of being more. They're very good defensively because they're big and they're hard, and Mo wins a lot of draws for us. But they're capable of being more than a shutdown line. Like they had more than double the D zone starts than they did O zone starts on the weekend, and they had, I think, more than double scoring chances for than against. That is a really impressive stat. When you're starting in the D zone more than not, and you're generating more offense than you do offense against, that's a really impressive stat. Against a team that good, generally they're on the ice either against Aiden Fink and Gavin McKenna or Serato, and that line, who's they're either 2 or on any given night are the best line of the country. And for them to do that against those 2 lines, it's the sky's the limit for those 3. I'm really excited about getting them here and them being on our program for 2 of them for 3 and 1 for 4 years.
Four teams from 4 conferences coming into town this weekend. How do you prepare for the variety of play styles that you could face?
We're just focused on Notre Dame. We played Quinnipiac a ton. We know how good they are. They beat BC last weekend. They're incredibly structured and hard. They're really good. They're ranked 8th. They're probably a legit top 5 team. They're loaded this year. So hopefully we get the opportunity if they beat a good Fairbanks team to play them on Saturday. But we're focused on Notre Dame. Notre Dame's talented. They run deep. They play hard. They got a brand new coach who knows what he's doing. He's going to build that program into a really, really, good national contender very quickly. So they're going to come out of the gates hard because it's really their first regular season game with their new coach. So we're going to have to be very good. We've never had a harder start to our season, competition-wise, and I think it's the best thing we could do with a young team is to cut our teeth and get grizzled real quick, because that's what it's going to be like every night in our league.
With how the non-conference schedule was that kind of an emphasis to have such great teams to kind of get
Yeah, I mean, we've always tried to play the toughest schedule that we can, and I think that, again, like, you know, you make schedules a few years out, and then when we joined the league, it kind of, the domino effect happened, but we worked on getting the icebreaker from the minute that Mullet opened, and then the Penn State thing came about, you know, a little over a year ago, and they owed us a trip back from our Big Ten season, and during COVID, Notre Dame owes us a trip back, and this is their return trip, and all the Big Ten teams have done it except for Wisconsin and Michigan State, and we're working with those two to come back as well. So Ohio State comes in over Thanksgiving, Minnesota's already come in, Michigan came in last year. So it's great for us to open up Mullet over the first 4 or 5 years, knowing that we're going to have Big Ten teams come in.
Do you have a Friday starter in that yet?
Not yet. No, and I don't think yet. I think there's a good chance you'll see both at some point this weekend. You know, we'll kind of, as the week goes on, go with our gut over, you know, learning a little bit more about all three opponents and who matches up, you know, best with who. But you know, the goal is to definitely get Sam in a game this weekend. He's a number one for any college hockey team, and I'm confident he'll show it when he gets his chance.
Lucius looked pretty solid over the weekend. What did you see from him?
He was. I thought Saturday he was one of our best players 5-on-5. Not just because he scored, but he just played a really good game. He managed the puck well. He was moving his feet more. He was getting to the net. He's a special player. He's only going to get better and better. So I was really happy with his effort on Saturday. He's got to, and so do the other guys on that power play unit. They have to execute, you know, and we tell them, like, look, great power plays fail 70% of the time. Really good ones fail 75% of the time. So you're not going to score every time, but you have to get us momentum and feel like we're getting downhill out there after a power play. And it just didn't feel that way last weekend.
How's the team doing just health-wise after last?
Health-wise, we're good. I mean, we're obviously without Bose again this weekend, which is a huge loss in the back. And then just some nicks and bruises, but I don't think anything that's going to keep anybody out.
What do you want to see from your D-core this weekend?
I think, you know, I think our D-core was a really bright spot against Penn State. I don't think that they did anything to cost us. I don't think there was any really major egregious things. Some minor things here and there, just puck management, and other than clearly, you know, the two really bad penalties that Dowder took. But that's an individual thing. It's not an in the moment playing thing. The D-core is really good, so just continue to build on it and use how well they played against such a good team, you know, as a young D-core without one of our most steady presences in Bozer, and just build on it.
How talented the roster is this year? What is it like to have those kind of good problems when you're trying to decide who to start from scratch?
It's really tough right now as we're, you know, for the most part healthy, because we feel like we have kids in the stands that can help us, right? So it's just, you know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to juggle, but it's life in the big city. I mean, look how well Justin Cloutier played on Saturday, and he was in a suit and tie on Friday, and then we put him in, and he was dynamite. So it's a positive thing. We feel like we can lose a couple of bodies this year and still do really well, and I think we proved that this weekend with two major contributors that are out right now in Beck and Bose. And we had a lead going into both third periods.
Coach, the
Shows how
Bears
deep we are.
Weekend was special for a number of reasons off the ice as well with the jersey retirement. But on Saturday, you went with a pair of Arizona natives in the starting lineup. How cool was it to hear kind of the roar of the crowd, knowing those two guys were?
Yeah, I mean, when we recruit local kids, we tell them that's how it's going to be. Like, the people are going to hear from Mesa, Arizona, Logan Morrell, and Scottsdale, Arizona, Ty Nash, and they're going to cheer louder, right? And I think that's what it's all about, you know, and it was really cool to see. They earned the start because of how well they played on Friday. You know, they weren't starting because they were from here, but they earned it. And I mean, I think they got 8-9 minutes on Friday, and they were our best line. And they got a lot more than that on Saturday. And if they continue to play the way they did this weekend, you're going to see them in just about every situation. They're winning players, all three of them.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Thank you.